Hello, my name is Hamid Montekab, and I will be presenting to you a series of webinars entitled The Hidden Roots of Disease. As early as the Song Dynasty, classical Chinese medicine has defined three categories of causative factors for disease: the external causes, the internal causes, and the mixed causes. The internal causes being the emotions and the mindsets of the individual. And already in classical Chinese medicine, more importance was given to the internal causes with the statements such as Shen leads the Qi. Now, in my opinion, modern Chinese medicine, misleadingly called TCM or traditional Chinese medicine, has greatly discounted the importance of internal causes in favor of junk food disharmony and substance disharmony patterns. Emotions are physiological modifications of an individual in response to the outer changes. Now, the appearance of a particular emotion greatly depends on personal perceptions. In other words, depends on how our mind interprets the external events. In this manner, two people will not be experiencing the same emotion when in a given outer event. And these responses greatly depend on their mindsets and what we will be calling belief mechanisms. Now, classical Chinese medicine has clearly established the relation between the mind, psyche, and the body, the soma. Today, in neuroscience and psychiatry, has established that from all the different functions of the mind, of the brain, only 1/10 of those functions are available to the conscious part of the mind or the consciousness, and that 9/10 of them remain outside conscious control. And these are referred to as the subconscious or unconscious aspects of the psyche. And yet, these hidden parts or the unconscious parts constitute the core foundation of our belief mechanisms. Then it's appropriate to call these aspects the hidden roots of our pathologies. Now, classical Chinese medicine has given us more than enough understanding of the 5 sections of the psyche, as well as many tools of how to work with these concepts. This series of lectures is an attempt to unravel these hidden parts and the hidden roots of disease, and to supply the TCM practitioner with practical therapeutic tools that can be easily implemented into their daily acupuncture practice. Now, each webinar is an independent unit offering insight into the various constituents of the belief mechanisms, and specially accompanied by treatment strategies and protocols, how to basically release and change these mechanisms. And each webinar also is accompanied by appropriate case studies to demonstrate how to use these protocols. The whole series of 6 lectures may be taken as a tuition course in Chinese psychosomatics. It offers an excellent base for understanding and treating the various components of belief mechanisms and helping to change the habitual mindsets and conditionings in a daily acupuncture practice. Module 1 explores the concepts of the mind and the 5 sections of the psyche in Chinese medicine, specifically the relation of the mind and the body, and importantly, the notion of pain, which can be considered the language of the body, how to interpret and work with this concept. Module 2 analyzes the impact of the outer world, explores the concept of instincts and emotions, and describes in detail the energetics of emotions, their physiological effects and impacts. In particular, we will be also exploring the role of the Luo connecting vessels in the management of emotions. And basically, the Luo vessels are the vessels which connect the inner world, the microcosm, with the outer world, and how they are going to be responsible for retaining and holding certain emotional responses. Further, we will also look at the role of the Luo in the psychosocial development of the individual. Module 3 examines the components of belief mechanisms, and in particular, the inherited constitutional energies and what we term as the 5 archetypes. The typical physical, energetic, and psychological characteristics of each archetype will be explored, and also the role that the extraordinary vessels play in the psycho-emotional development of the individual. In Module 4, we will be delving into the role of the temperaments and the importance of conditioning on the establishment of specific belief mechanisms. This will also explain the habitual psychological profiles of each of the 6 temperaments, and furthermore, will also explain particular psychological issues or even physical complaints that each temperament may present. Again, the role of the extraordinary vessels, especially during different life stages, and the important role that they have in how we perceive and interpret the outer events. Modules 5 and 6 are more geared at understanding the impact of personal experiences, in particular trauma, that may be physical trauma or psychological trauma, the various memory systems that we have, and especially the defensive mechanisms that we use in relation to these traumatic events, in particular the sinew channels, the Jingjin, or the connecting vessels, the Luomai, which are very important in managing how in early stages of our lives, we are going to deal with these traumatic events. Each module contains adapted acupuncture protocols and specific exercises to help release and change the ingrained subconscious programs and habitual mindsets. In Module 6, we also will more specifically examine the impact of traumatic physical trauma on the person, and how these traumas may be retained in the body in the form of body armors. And we will be supplying exercises for the patients to help them release these body memories, and exercises that they can easily practice on a daily basis. Basically, the treatment protocols are aimed at supplying the practitioner with individual treatments for specific conditions. It's very important to underline that in classical Chinese medicine, we are looking at treating a person and not a disease. I hope you will join us for these webinars, and thank you. Goodbye.